Hello everyone, and welcome to another In the Spotlight video. Today we're going to be showcasing HONK, North America's leading provider of safe contactless payment. To do so, I'm joined by Michael, who's going to be explaining to me how the company operates and what they provide to consumers. Michael, thank you for joining me today. Could you please introduce yourself and the company?
Oh, thank you for having me. HONK is a software platform and payment provider for parking and mobility. My name is Michael Back. I am the founder and CEO of the company. HONK has been around since 2013, and our goal has quite frankly been to replace payment hardware with cloud-based software.
Could you please explain to me, how does contactless payment work for consumers?
So our vision right from the beginning was that the physical equipment on city streets was expensive to acquire, expensive to operate, expensive to maintain. It's points of sale, and what's happened in the world is that, with phones being absolutely ubiquitous, it really didn't make sense to keep these physical devices. So what mobile payment is allows a user to complete a transaction in the palm of their hands without visiting a third-party device. So the original start of that was mobile applications. So you had to download an app and you had to register. Where we are today, you don't even need an application. Anyone from a phone could access a transaction without having to download, without having to register, and do it as a guest. And it's much more user-friendly, it's much quicker and way more efficient than walking up to a physical terminal that's standing on a city street.
And how complicated would you say this is to implement it on the operations side of things?
I would say, like with anything, change is difficult. I would love to tell you that it's simple, and it is quite simple, but you're working against inertia. So this is the way people have done things for dozens of years, if not decades. So, how do you get them to switch? But I think the pandemic was a key turning point in our world because, hardware became that much more expensive, that much more complex. PCI compliance continues moving on. Anytime you buy a piece of hardware, you have a physical asset that's depreciating, and the technology is, ticking away to obsolescence. That doesn't happen in cloud. And then, moreover, the consumers have demanded it. So what the pandemic did is take, kind of a knee-jerk reaction, in 2020, 2021, and turn it into engraved behaviors. So now consumers are much more confident and much more comfortable on using their phones for payment. And e-commerce has evolved from buying something on a website and having it shipped to your home to things like click and collect, or in-seat ordering in the case of a sporting event or concert, or in the case of parking, scanning a QR code, tapping an NFC, or even text to pay to complete your transaction without having to wait in line, without having to stand at a meter and press buttons, and doing it all out of the palm of your hand.
So you mentioned user experience. Can you tell me what you find to be the key component for a great user experience?
So I would say that, the best experience is the one that is no experience. And, making something very, very simple so that it just seems effortless is the best user experience. So what has happened in the world generally, and certainly in our industry, is that what went from attended is now totally unattended. So in the world of unattended, people don't want to figure out new things. So what are people most comfortable? We spend hours and hours and hours as a species on our phones. So let's use the technology that people are most comfortable with and make it work for them simply and easily. So the best user experience is one that's quick, very, very few keystrokes or data entry points, and using the technology that's in my pocket as opposed to introducing third-party technology. The other thing I would say is that people want immediate gratification. So particularly at events or rush hours in the morning or in the evening, no one wants to wait in line. No one wants to pull a ticket. No one wants to walk down a street to find the pay station. So giving a consumer an experience that is immediate, is ubiquitous, is familiar, and allows them to do in a few seconds what would take a few minutes is the ultimate user experience. And I'll tell you, this is something that HONK does better than anyone else in the marketplace. We utilize the existing technology on the phone. We'll predispose to Apple Pay or Google Pay or PayPal, and we'll really make the parking transaction one click to buy. So instead of several minutes of waiting at a machine, it's literally 2 taps of your phone and done.
So I understand that HONK provides a complete package. Can you expand on this, please? So in relation to B2B, for example, for parking operators or municipalities?
Absolutely. So our big constituents are, parking operators and real estate owners, colleges and universities, as well as municipalities. And while each of them are looking for something different, the way I look at the business is you have distribution channels. How do you sell your product? And you have products you sell. So HONK has a wide variety of e-commerce distribution channels. We have a mobile app. We have what we call TAP, which is a QR-based scan to pay. We have text to pay. We have NFC, which is literally a tap as opposed to a scan. And we have the web. So anything you do on your phone, you can always go back to your computer and access it via any internet connected device. So those are distribution channels. And then we have products. So what I find in the world of parking is that it gets complex very, very quickly. So we do daily transient parking, we do monthly parking, we do event parking, we do on-demand purchasing, we do advanced reservations. We have a flex pass, which is kind of a 10-class pass for parking that we designed in the middle of the pandemic because the monthly recurring billing parker wasn't coming to the office so much. So let's price a product in between daily and monthly that allowed the operator to generate more revenue and gave the consumer kind of an entice to buy. And it works very much like a gift card. Whatever doesn't get used based on the policies of the operator can continue indefinitely or can expire at the end of the month, and it's totally up to them. We have, in the private real estate market, there's a whole concept of entitlements and kind of group purchasing and permitting. Permitting is a big thing for the university market. So what HONK has done better than anyone out there is piece together this complete package of parking products that can be sold through multiple distribution channels. So whether that's the university that's trying to deal with a visiting college professor and bill back to the English department, or whether that's a real estate owner trying to deal with entitlements of various tenants who have different square footages in their locations, or a municipality who has construction projects so that parking lot is closed for these hours or these weeks or these years. We're able to do that better than anyone else on the street and deal with the complexities of parking really, really efficiently and in a really, really intelligent way.
Thanks so much for the conversation today, Michael. We at Parking Network wish you all the best in advancing the industry.
Thank you so much.
And for those in the audience, thank you for joining today. Make sure to like and subscribe. And for more industry news, please head on over to parking.net.